I remember very distinctly how the first session of this campaign ended. I decided to, before thrusting the party into the big world-shaking plotline, have the party meet each other by going through a short adventure where they dealt with some bandits. These bandits had been kidnapping people and dragging them back to a cave where they were fed to massive scorpions. The bandits made a living from extracting poison from the scorpions while they were sleeping and selling it. The party's fighter, a spine-covered lizard man named Caravander, was disgusted by this. After killing the scorpions, Caravander lifted the last surviving bandit up by the throat. "How many?" he growled. "How many lives have you sacrificed?" I don't know, I don't keep track," the bandit whined. Caravander snapped his neck and tossed away the body. He collected his things, took the bandit's possessions, and went back into town with the rest of the party. Caravander was not a friendly guy. He had grown up in Mital, a small country far from the setting of the campaign. Mital had been invaded and conquered a dozen times over the past century, most recently 10 years ago by the Empire of Steel. The Empire of Steel were brutal to the people of Mital. They tore the country apart to extract resources for their war machine. Caravander didn't talk much about what had happened to him, but the implication he gave off was that it wasn't pleasant. A few sessions later, while traveling through the countryside for a quest, the party came across the small village of Regretaru. Despite the war going on, the small town was having a yearly festival. The party decided to take a break and go to the festival, fully expecting there to be a shocking twist that the sleepy village was actually evil. In the center of the town was a young woman hosting a lottery. She asked the party if they wanted to draw tickets. The monk Vixen shrugged and said, "Okay, sure." "Wow, that's really selfless of you," the woman said. "What? Why?" The woman, her name was Felicity, explained that every year during the harvest, a monster showed up and tried to kill everyone. Fortunately, the town was able to satiate the beast by sacrificing one unlucky victim to keep it fed. The party shared a look inside, knowing exactly where this was going. Felicity's mother, the mayor, walked on the stage in the town square and drew the name of the unlucky soul sentenced to death. Vixen, the party's monk. Now, the party was more than strong enough to fight their way out and leave the villagers for dead. Caravander favored this option, but Aros, the team's other fighter, suggested they stay and fight. Aros was more optimistic than Caravander. He had the standard tiefling backstory, child of a human and a devil, discriminated against by society, etc., etc. This inspired him to try and prove people wrong by being a hero. Cut to that night. Vixen was tied to a post in the middle of the village. The rest of the party hid on a rooftop, ready to pounce. A loud shriek echoed through the town, followed by the sound of tearing flesh and breaking bones. A hulking monster with sharp fangs and bony wings emerged from the shadows. The monster crawled towards Vixen. The party rolled for initiative. The artificer shot Vixen's ropes, freeing him, as Caravander and Aros charged in and attacked the beast. They slashed its flesh, sending out sprays of its inky blood. Aros lunged in to stab the beast in the throat. As he did, the monster sank its teeth into his shoulder. It released its bite when Caravander slashed across its stomach. Partway through the fight, the mayor ran out of her house and yelled at the party to stop. Vixen was forced to gently punch her in the face to keep her from interfering with the fight. Look, you know where this is going, as did the party, being genre savvy and all. The monster was Felicity, shocking twist. Aro stabbed her in the heart and she fell over, dead. "Awaken the mayor. Bring her to me," Caravander commanded. Vixen dragged her over. "Talk. You monsters. You don't understand what you've done," the mayor spat. "We have killed a beast who I assume was your child." "She wasn't born this way. There was a monster years ago. Something that crawled out of the Great Ravine. It bit her and turned her into this abomination. But I realized we could keep it at bay through sacrificing people." "We understand," Aro said. "I'm sorry it had to end this way." Caravander spat in the mayor's face. "You disgust me," he growled. She lunged at him and he struck her down with a single swing of his sword. "Hey, there's been enough bloodshed today." "Enough bloodshed? Huh! You have not seen real bloodshed. This is nothing." "That girl we killed, she didn't know what she was doing. She wasn't in control of her actions." "She was a monster." "She was innocent. And if she was innocent and we killed her, I don't know what that makes us." Caravander walked over to the monster's corpse and raised his sword. He began hacking away at the beast's neck. "She's already dead. Its head will make a fine trophy. I told you to stop, and I have chosen to ignore you. She deserves a proper burial, to be left with a little bit of dignity. Says who? Says me. In that case, I do not care. The neck properly cut through, Carvander grabbed Felicity's head and twisted, wrenching it off in a single motion. You're a monster, the mayor whispered, clutching her bloody wound. You enjoy this, don't you? Yes, I do. What makes you better than me? Because there was a motive for your killing? Huh. 20 years, 20 souls for one stupid girl. Pathetic. And now, it has all been left meaningless. There's magic out there. Powerful magic. You could have found another way to save your daughter. You are trying to rationalize the actions of a monster. I am trying to rationalize unfortunate circumstances. She was someone's daughter. Yes, everyone is someone's daughter or someone's son. Every killer, every victim. That does not mean I will throw down my blade in cowardice. Do not lecture me on morality, devil spawn. You know nothing of me or my people. If this is what your people are like, I want nothing to do with them. Very well. If you ever do something like this again, I will bury my blade in your ribs. Even when it's over, you need to let people die with dignity. Aros and Caravander continued arguing into the night. Eventually, Vixen noticed the bite mark on Aros' shoulder, which had quickly become black and infected. The mayor laughed as Vixen pointed this out. This is your problem now, killers. Enjoy the pain, she said as she died. Writing a tabletop campaign is weird. Ideally, you want stories to be about something. You want there to be character arcs and central themes that are repeated as the story progresses. But you aren't really in control as a dungeon master. Your players are. And it is an amazing feeling when your players give you really strong performances, when they make these bold character choices and you understand perfectly what the campaign is going to be about. As the party solemnly walked away from the village, their heads hung low, I knew for certain that the campaign would be about sacrifice and it would be about dignity. In the distance, the party saw military airships flying through the night air. Airships belonging to a powerful enemy, one who would force them to their breaking point, to the point where ideals crumble.